everyone. Good afternoon. Okay, today is a little change of background because ideally if you can be close to a wall, prepare 2 blocks, make sure you have a towel, especially if your shoulders are relatively tight. The longer the towel, the better it will be for you. Alright? Hope you have a good week this week. Today we'll be working a little bit on your back bends. Specifically, we'll be working on your bridge as well as your wheel pose. So that was why I was thinking like this might be a good option for a live as well as an online class. So at any point in time, if you feel that you have not quite pinned down any pose today, you can always refer back to our IGTV, so you will be able to see and look through all the drills. I find that personally for these drills that I'm including in this class, they work very well for me to train up into my back bends. So at any point in time, if you feel like you need to refer back after the class, you can always look at our IGTV that we will post after the class. Alright? Okay, let me know if you are unable to hear me clearly. There were some students who feedback that there were background noises from my previous class, so today I'll be increasing my volume a little, as well as I've shut off all the windows, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me fine today. Okay? Right, so whenever you have settled down, just come into a comfortable seat on your mat. Maybe you can just gently close your eyes. Just give yourself some time to settle down into your mat. We'll wait for about another minute or 2 before we start off the class. So just get yourself comfortable, close to a wall, 2 blocks ideally, and a towel. Alright? So if you're settled down, think about rolling your shoulders back and down. Feel the lifting from your heart center. Lengthen your spine long. Think of grounding your sitting bones into the mat. As you close your eyes, give yourself this time to quiet down your mind. If you have rushed back from work or you have been doing something else before this class, just give yourself a few minutes to settle in. Every inhale, feel the lengthening of your spine towards the ceiling. As you exhale, draw your shoulders away from your ears as you ground your sitting bones into the mat. Now if you notice your lower back is rounding, make sure you place a block under your sitting bones to prop your sitting bones up. Keeping your eyes closed, slowly next inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers, flip your palms up, straighten your arms. Lengthen your spine long, feel the lifting from your lower back. Now gently drop your chin to chest. Think of reaching your arms back as much as you can. So relax your neck down as you reach your arms back. Feel the gentle stretch in your armpits, the slight opening in your heart. Think of squeezing into your shoulder blades slightly to push your chest forward. Arms reach back. Try to straighten as much as you can. Slowly next inhale, release from your pose. Set your blocks aside if you haven't done so. Now first pose, you're going to come into a supported fish pose. So make sure you have 2 blocks close to you. You're going to place the first block horizontally across the mat. Now as you squeeze into your shoulder blades, you start to see the chicken wings from your shoulder blades. So where you're going to place the block is right in the middle here, right in between your shoulder blade joint. Okay? So once you feel comfortable, you're going to come onto your forearms first. So as you come onto your forearms, ground your feet, you can wriggle yourself back. So on one forearm, it's easier for you. So now once you know you've placed the block in between your shoulder blades, you can rest your shoulder blades into the block. Now if your head can't rest onto the ground, the second block is where you will place your head onto the block. Okay, so the block should be pushing your heart center towards the ceiling. You can either place your arms alongside your body, or you can reach your arms over your hip, grab hold opposite elbows. Now with this second option of your arms, you might feel slightly harder to breathe. So at any point in time, if you notice yourself breathing difficultly and you feel that you feel like you're puffing your chest too much, place your arms alongside your body instead. For your legs, you can choose to keep it bent, ground your sitting bones down, or you can straighten your legs. If you're straightening your legs, just drop your toes outwards, so you're opening up your hips. Now gently close your eyes. Every inhale, feel your chest lifting up. As you exhale, think of melting your rib cage into the block, using the block to open up your chest. At any point in time, if you don't feel any opening in your heart center, you can slide the block away from your hip. This will help you to intensify the stretch. Reaching your arms over your head will help you to stretch out your shoulders as well. Give yourself some time. Keep breathing into your heart center. Taking deep breath in. Full breath up. Slowly, next inhale, you're going to rebend your knees, ground your feet into the mat. Now don't come up all the way, come onto your forearms first. Think of drawing your chin to chest pressed against the block. Then once you're lifted, come onto one forearm, slide the block away from your middle back, then slowly roll your spine back down towards the ground. So no sudden movements, just allow your spine some time to rest back down to the mat, neutralize your spine. Now keeping your knees bent, open your feet hip width distance apart. Alright? Once you're here, take the block again. Make sure the block is horizontally placed, slide it under your lower back. Try to shift the block towards your sacrum. Your sacrum is right above your butt cheeks, right below your tailbone. So when you rest your sacrum onto the block, you should feel comfortable here. You shouldn't feel any pinching pain. Okay, everyone, you have to stand up the second height, not the highest height. Alright, so just give yourself some time, allow this block to help you to prop your hips up. Same as before, you can keep your knees bent or you can straighten your legs. If you're straightening your legs, turn your toes out, allow your hips to open up towards the ceiling. As for your arms, you can place your arms alongside your body, or same as the previous pose, reach your arms above your head. Alright? So now think of opening up your hips. Keep the opening in your chest. Now slowly bend your knees to release the block. Okay, place the block under your sacrum. Now we count the first jerk. So make sure when you lie down, the block is firmly placed under your sacrum. Use your palms, grab hold onto the block. Okay, feet hip width distance apart. Think of activating your inner thighs. Squeeze into your glutes, hug your belly in. Once you're stable, slowly next inhale, draw your right knee towards your chest. Start to flex into your right foot. Keep your right leg active. Start to straighten your right leg up. Keep flexing your toes towards your face. Hug your belly in to protect your lower back. Pressing your shoulder blades down. Try not to scrunch your shoulders towards your ears. Inhale, straighten your right leg, flex your toes. Exhale, bring your right leg as low as the block. Keep your leg straight. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right leg in line with your block. Keep your right leg straight. Inhale, up. Exhale, fall. One more time. Inhale, up. Exhale, hold it here. If you can, lift your left heel. Maybe hover your left foot 1 inch off the ground. Keep pressing your sacrum into the block. 3. Your palms is grabbing hold onto the block. 2. 1. Release your left foot. Rebend your right foot onto the mat. Okay, I'm going to shift back so you're able to see my legs. Okay, once you're ready, ground your right foot down. Inhale, lift your left knee towards your chest. Straighten your left leg up. Flex your toes towards your face. Activate your left thigh, hug your lower belly in. Inhale, flex your toes, push your left heel up. Exhale, lower your left leg as low as the height of the block. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. You start to train up your abdominal muscles as well as your lower back. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Last round. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Bring it in the same height as your block. If you can, lift your right heel. Maybe hover your right foot. Right foot 1 inch off the mat. 5. You start to feel the trembling in your abdominal muscles. 4. 3. 2. 1. Release your right foot. Bend your left knee. Ground your left foot down. Now once you're here, taking a deep breath in, melt your hips towards the block, take a breath. Your palms do grab hold firmly into the block. Make sure your feet is hip width distance apart. Walk your feet as close as you can. So walk your heels in, make sure your fingertips is able to graze onto your ankle. Squeeze into your inner thighs, ground down into your feet. Palms onto the block. Inhale, lift your hips up. Now use your glutes, use your lower back strength to lift your hips. Exhale, lower, sacrum lightly touch the block. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, 2. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, 3. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, 4. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, 5. Last round. Inhale, hips up. Hold it here. Think of tilting your tailbone towards the ceiling. Actively squeeze your glutes. Reach your arms up and over your hips. So press your arms down. Keep lifting your hips. Draw your chest towards your chin. Chin away from your chest. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release the block under your sacrum. Roll your spine down, vertebrae at a time. Now keeping your knees bent, think of pressing your lower back into the mat. Use this as a counter pose to release your spine. Start to straighten your left leg. Once you're ready, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers in front of your right shin. Keep your right foot active, flex your right foot. Press your back of your neck into the mat. Draw your right knee towards your chest. Those who are slightly more flexible in your hip joint, you can draw your right knee towards your right armpit, but make sure your left sitting bone stays onto the mat. So keep flexing your left foot as well. Keep pressing the back of your left thigh into the ground. Keeping an active engagement in your thighs. Inhale, lift your forehead to touch your right knee. Now crunch it in, press your lower back into the mat. Option to stay here, option to float your left leg off the ground. Now if you can go further, forehead stays close towards your right knee, Start to straighten both arms forward. So use your lower torso, use your lower abdominal muscles to crunch. 3, 2, 1. Release your hips, supine twist. Drop your right knee towards the left side. Extend right fingertips towards the right. Now feel the extension in your right side body as well as the release on the right side of your lower back. Make sure your right shoulder stays grounded onto the mat. Think of pinning your shoulders down as you draw your hips, right hip to step over your left. Inhale back to center. Straighten your right leg. Okay, once you're ready, hug your left knee in towards your chest. Okay, make sure you're able to see my legs. Okay, keep flexing your toes. Press the back of your right thigh into the neck. Inhale, lift your forehead towards your knees. Crunch it in. Hug your lower belly in. Inhale, float your right leg off the ground. Keep your knees close towards your left knee. If you can, straighten both leg arms forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release your head down. Supine twist. Guide your left knee towards the right. Extend left fingertips towards the left. Make sure you're pinning your left shoulder down as you feel the twist from the left side of your body, the left lower back. Inhale back to center. Now hug both knees in towards your chest. Rock from side to side. Massage your lower back, your glutes into the ground. Back to center. Now rock yourself up and down. Think of massaging the spine into the neck. Once you're ready, rock yourself all the way up. Come into a comfortable seat. Now use your blocks, sit onto your blocks if you need to. Lifting your chest up, now peel the fleshy parts away from your sitting bones, ground your sitting bones onto the mat. Once you're ready, inhale, arms reach up, interlace your fingers, flip your palms up, straighten your arms. Now no back bend here, so tailbone rolls down towards the mat. Lift your chest, inhale. Left palm onto your left thigh, right palm beside your right thigh. Lift your chest. Exhale, drop your left shoulder forward. Think of rolling right shoulder back. Bend into your right elbow. Think of using your left palm. Straighten your left arm by pushing your left thigh down. Feel the stretch in your left lower back. You're trying to find space and extension in your lower spine. Back to center. Right palm, right thigh. Left palm beside your thigh. Lift your chest. Exhale, drop right shoulder forward, twist to the left. Right arm stay straight, left elbow bend. Inhale back to center. Reach your arms up, lengthen your spine once more time. Exhale, release, palms onto the mat, come into your tabletop stand. Okay, so make sure your palms are shoulder width apart. Knees are hip width distance apart. Okay, once you're ready, we're starting off with cat and cow. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chin, arch your spine. Exhale, round your spine, scoop tailbone, protract your upper back. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chin. Exhale, round your spine, scoop tailbone, protract your upper back. One more round. Inhale, tailbone up, chin up. When you're in your cow spine, think of hugging your lower belly in. Protect your lower back. Exhale, round your spine, protract upper back. Inhale, back to neutral tabletop. Now you're going to use your blocks. Grab hold onto 2 blocks. You're going to place the blocks in the triangle manner. Okay, so when you place it down, the edge that is closest to you should be shoulder width apart. Turning in will help for those who have very tight shoulders to be able to ground firmly into the block. Alright, so you're going to do cat-cow movements again. So make sure the blocks are stable. Bring your elbows towards the middle edge of your block. Right in the middle, so not too front, not too back, just right in the middle here. Okay, once you're here, press your elbows down one at a time. Make sure you firmly press the blocks down. Interlace your fingers. Walk your knees back until your hips stay stacked above your knees. Make sure your knees are hip width distance apart. Curl your toes. Okay, start off with cat and cow movements. Inhale, lift your tailbone. Think of pushing your shoulders back. Exhale, round your spine, scoop tailbone as you draw your shoulders over your elbows. Inhale, melt your chest. Push shoulders back, lift your hips. Exhale, round your spine, push into the block. One more round. Inhale, melt your chest, tailbone up, shoulders back. Exhale, scoop tailbone, shoulders over your elbows. Tailbone tucks in towards your face. This round you're going to hold. Think of inhale to push your chest back, shoulders back, hips up. Hug your lower belly in to protect your lower back. Now think of melting your chest towards the mid. If you can, bend your elbows. Think of bringing your fist behind your head. For those who are able to bring your fist to touch your upper back, think of using your thumbs to push your chest down towards the ground. Your forehead may or may not reach the mat, but think of stretching out your armpits, stretching out your chest. Feel the opening in your upper back. Keep hugging your belly in, keep lifting your hips up and back. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now rounding your spine. With control, push into the block, reach your fist forward. Now walk your knees in, bring your knees together, untuck your toes, melt your belly over your thighs. Set your blocks aside, forehead down. So using your thighs to create a rounding of your spine, using this pose as a gentle counter pose. Once you're ready, palms under your shoulders, lift yourself back up, back to tabletop. You're going to stretch out your wrists, especially for people with very tight wrist joint. The wrist warm-up is very good for you before you go into wheel. Alright, so once you're in tabletop, tuck your toes under first. Rounding your spine, think of pushing your finger pads into the mat. Inhale, roll your shoulders over your wrist. Press your finger pads down. Think of activating your forearms, so no weight should be pressing into your wrist joint. Exhale, butt to heel. Think of stretching out your toes. Inhale, round your spine, angry cat. Push the mat away from you, shoulders over your wrist. Exhale, butt to heel. One more time. Inhale, roll your shoulders over your wrist, hold it here. Keep activating your forearms, pressing your finger pads down if you can. Lower belly, hug in, hold over your knees 1 inch off the ground. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest your knees, butt to heel. Stretch your toes as you release your wrists. Inhale, back to center. Now you're going to flip your right palm facing up. Right fingertips point towards you. Actively use your fingernails. Press your fingernails down to the mat. Keep your arms straight. Hug your belly in to draw weight away from your wrist. Option to stay here if you're feeling the stretch in your forearms. If you don't, shift your butt towards your heels. Keep pressing the base of your wrist joint into the mat so you feel the stretch from your wrist joint all the way up across your forearms. Inhale, back to center. Flip your right palm down, left palm flips up. Actively use your fingernails, press it down. Elbow eye turns forward. Option to stay, option to shift back to your heels. Now your fingernails are still active, your palms are still pressing down as you stretch out your wrists. Inhale, back to center. flip your left palm back. Now start to turn your right fingertips inward with your palms facing down. Fingernails point towards your right knee. Rounding your spine, same as before. Either you stay or draw your butt cheeks towards your heels. Now the base of your wrist is still pressing down, so don't lift your palms up, you won't feel the stretch. You have to press the base of your wrist down and you lean back. This is the exact feeling you will feel when you're going into wheel. So try to keep clawing your finger pads down as you lean back, stretch out the tops of your wrist. Inhale back to center, turn your right palm forward, left palm, turn it out, then you start to turn into face your knees. Either you stay with your arms straight or you start to lean back. Keep pressing your finger pads into the mat, stretch out the base of your wrist across your forearms. Inhale back to center, turn your left palm back forward, sit onto your heels, now clench and release your fist. Just to bring blood flow back into your arms, to release any pinching pain or tension in your wrist joint. Once you're ready, rotate your wrists 2 rounds clockwise, 2 rounds anti-clockwise. Right? Palms down, tuck your toes. Once you're ready, downward facing dog. Once you're in downward dog, take this time, pedal your legs out, one at a time. Think of stretching out the back of your hamstring. As for your hips, try not to lean your shoulders too far forward or drop your hips down. Think of pushing from your shoulder joint, lifting your chest, chest back, hips up. So if you can't micro bend your knees, think of drawing your tailbone towards the ceiling. The more you can lift your hips up, the more you can draw weight away from your wrists. Okay, inhale, lean forward, come to plank. Now notice if your hips are too high than your shoulders, walk your toes back, bring your hips in line with your shoulders. Don't drop your chest down, don't drop your hips. Think of squeezing into your butt cheeks, scoop tailbone towards your face, press into your palms, round your upper back. Nothing else changes, push back into downward dog. Micro bend knees if your hamstrings are tight. Inhale, lean forward, come to plank. Second round, think of bringing your shoulders over your wrist. Now maybe come onto your tippy toes. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Last round, inhale, lean forward, come into your plank pose. Keeping your core tight, hug your lower belly in. See if you can come onto just your big toes on the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shoulders back, drop your knees. Exhale, knees, chest, chin onto the mat. Melting your heart towards the ground. Lift your tailbone up, hug your lower belly in. Untuck your toes, glide forward into your baby cobra. Now once you're here, belly down. Think of lifting your chest up, option to stay. Use your upper back strength, squeeze into shoulder blades. If you can go further, lift your palms away from the mat. Final option, reach your arms back, interlace your fingers. Think of drawing your fist away from your butt cheek as you press your toes into the ground. Lifting your heart, use your upper back strength. 5, press your lower belly into the mat. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release your palms under your shoulders, tuck your toes, push yourself back, downward dog. Inhale, lifting your heels, bend your knees. Think of melting your chest towards your thighs, lift your butt up. Push your shoulders back. Gaze towards your thumbs, inhale. Exhale, tiptoe your way towards the front of the mat. Come towards your palms, open your feet hip width distance apart. Soften your knees, grab hold opposite elbows, come to ragdoll, allow your body to drape over your thighs. Okay, so don't focus too much on straightening your legs. Think of allowing your spine to lengthen down to the ground. For those who can, your forearms will start to inch closer and closer towards your toes. So think about leaning towards your toes a little more, lengthen your spine down. You can sway your body side to side, front to back. Shake your head, no. Nod your head, yes. Allow your shoulders to relax. Back to stillness, keep your grip. Don't release your arms. Inhale, roll yourself up, vertebrae at a time, reaching your forearms above your hip. Okay, so once you're here, hug your belly in, so don't arch your spine. Think of scooping tailbone, lift your arms. Biceps stays close to your ears. Inhale, exhale, side stretch towards the right. Use your right palm, pull your left elbow towards the right, push your hips towards the left. Feel the stretch in your left outer hip. Back to center, hug belly in, exhale to the left. So try not to drop your armpits down. Think of rolling your right armpit up. Push your hips towards the right. Inhale, back to center. Release your arms up. Now, listen carefully. Open your feet hip width distance apart. Alright? Once you're here, bring your palms towards your sacrum. Right above your butt cheek, right below your tailbone. Inhale, lift your chest, elbows squeeze in. Using your elbows to support your hips. Try not to arch from here, not from your lower back. Use your palms, think of scooping tailbone forward. Use your palms to push your hips forward. Lifting your chest up. Feel the stretch from the front part of your hip. Lift your heart, elbows squeeze in, lift your chest. Maybe just look up from to the ceiling. Soften your knees to allow your hips to go forward more. Come into a gentle back bend. Focus on the stretch in the front parts of your hips. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, roll yourself up, vertebrae at a time. Bring your feet together. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Interlace your fingers. Think of reaching your palms up. Flip your palms up, straighten arms. Bring your feet together. Ground your toes into the mat. Inhale, lift your heels off the mat. Activate your calves. If you can, squeeze heels together. Activate your calves and your quads. Lift your arms up, hug your belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ground your heels down, palms to hug. Close your eyes, just take a breath here. Want to close your eyes, think of rolling your shoulders away from your ears. Notice your heart. Constantly think about breathing your chest out towards your thumbs. Exhale to ground your feet into the mat. Slowly, next inhale, reach both arms up to the ceiling, lengthen your spine, gentle back bend. Think of pushing your hips forward, lift your heart. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, gaze forward. Exhale, bend your knees, step your right leg, big step back. Come into your low lunge, lift your arms up. Now bring your right palm onto your sacrum, left palm onto your knee. Lift your chest, inhale, remember the supported back bend. Exhale, scoop tailbone forward. Use your right palm, guide your hips forward, lifting your chest. Now option to stay here, option to use your left palm, push your left thigh away from you as you lift your heart up. Roll your outer shoulders back, option to stay, option to reach your left arm over your hip. Keep hugging your belly in, lift your heart. Inhale, back to center. Release your palms, straighten your left leg, come to half Hanuman. Flexing your left toes, pull your left hip back, right hip forward. Exhale, belly to thigh. Think of squeezing your left kneecap into your left hip socket to lengthen the back of the left hamstring. Rebend your left knee, palms down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale into your plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Untuck your toes, glide forward into your cobra, lift your chest. Now option 1, you stay here. Option 2, repeat whatever you did. Lift your palms away from the mat. Now option 3, if you can, this time round, reach your arms forward instead. Press your belly down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your arms back, palms down, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in, full breath out. Bring your blocks under your right palm. Just one block under your right palm. Press your palms down, feet hip width distance apart. Inhale, lift your right leg up, bend into your right knee, open your hips. So with the block under your right palm, it's easier for you to draw your right knee towards the ceiling. Actively squeeze your right heel to your butt, gaze underneath right armpit. Grounding your left heel as close to the mat as you can, try to keep both arms straight. Right knee towards your forehead, step your right foot through. Come into your low lunge on the right side, left knee down. Inhale, bring both arms up to the ceiling. Now make sure your stance is 90-degree angle. Left palm into your sacrum, right palm right thigh. Lift your chest, think of squeezing shoulder blades, roll your outer shoulders back. Use your left palm, guide your hips forward, lift your heart. Tailbone points forward. If you can go further, use your right palm, push your right thigh away from you as you lift your chest. Option to stay, option reach your right arm over your hip. Hug your belly in, keep lifting your heart. 3, 2, 1. Inhale back to center. Straighten your right leg. Palms blocks under your shoulders. Flex your right toes. Halfway lift, pull your right outer hip back. Square your hips, exhale belly to thigh. Inhale, rebend your right knee. Set your blocks aside, palms down, step back, downward dog. Inhale into your plank pose. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. This time round, glide forward into your cobra, lifting your chest. Micro bend your elbows, think of squeezing your elbows into your ribcage. Bend your elbows, think of lifting your heart, roll your outer shoulders back. Lengthen your spine, gaze over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, exhale left shoulder. Inhale back to center, now belly down, think of squeezing your heels towards your butt cheek. Flex your toes, heels to butt. Reach your arms back, grab hold onto your feet. Now flex your toes, keep your thighs onto the mat. Inhale, kick your heels away from butt cheek, think of lifting your chest. 5, press your thighs down, chest up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release, palms under shoulders, tuck your toes, lift yourself up, downward dog. Once you're in downward dog, lifting your heels, bend your knees, push your belly towards your thigh. Keep lifting your butt up, shoulders back. Slowly release, come onto your knees. Just come into child's pose to take a breather, forehead onto the mat. You can either place your arms alongside your body, or you can reach your arms back, grab hold onto your palms, draw your fist over your head. Warm up your shoulders, maybe sway your arms side to side. Back to center, release your palms, lift yourself up. Now come into kneeling position. Make sure your knees are hip width distance apart.
Okay, from the side view, you're going to place one block in between your inner thighs in a horizontal manner. Okay, so the block should be roughly around hip width distance. The second block, you're going to tuck your toes, place the block in between your heels. So what the block is there is for you to squeeze your inner thighs, to squeeze into the block, and squeeze your heels to squeeze onto the second block. So this is what you need to engage when you're going into your back bend. Alright, place your palms onto your sacrum, lift your chest. Elbows not flaring out, think of squeezing elbows in. Not arching from your lower back, tailbone, push forward. Squeeze into your inner thigh, lift your chest. First round, camel pose as a gentle one. So take it easy for the first round. Lift your chest, roll your outer shoulders back. Use your palms, support your sacrum, push your tailbone forward, lift your chest. So don't think about looking back, think about lifting your chest up, roll your outer shoulders back. So notice the feeling as your palms support your sacrum, think of squeezing into your butt. So you should be able to feel the engagement in your butt cheeks. Lifting your heart, make sure no pinching pain in your lower back. Inhale, slowly roll yourself back to center. Sit your butt onto the block, scoop tailbone in as a gentle counter pose. Okay, second round, lift your arms, squeeze into the block in between your knees and your heels. You're going to grab hold opposite elbows, you're going to strengthen your thighs. Okay, no back bend here, so no arch. Scoop tailbone, point your tailbone towards the neck. Lift your chest, grab hold opposite elbows, hug your belly in. Inhale, exhale, lean back, think of Michael Jackson. Keep squeezing into the block, think of bringing your shoulders back. Your spine is at a straight plane. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, shoulders back, squeeze into your glutes, squeeze into the two blocks. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower, lean back. Inhale, up. Exhale, lean back. You should feel the engagement in your quads, your abdominal muscles, and your core. Inhale, up. Exhale, lean back. So your butt is not dropping towards your heels. One more round. Inhale. Exhale, lean back, hold it there. Squeeze into your outer glutes, hug your belly in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release, come to child's pose. Knees apart, melt your belly in between your inner thighs. Relax your shoulders over your knees. Allow your forehead to rest. Alright, so now you've strengthened Okay, so you've strengthened your thighs. You open up your chest. Moving on. One more round of drill and you move on to your wheel with the blocks. Alright, so once you're ready, you're going to sit onto your butt first. Make sure feet is hip width distance. Alright, so draw your butt closer towards your heels. Your arms will start to reach back. We start off on the right side first. Right fingertips point towards the back. Make sure your stance is firm, not too far back because it's very hard for you to lift. So make sure your palms is slightly directly under your shoulders. Okay, left palm towards your heart. This is the feeling you want to try to feel when you go into wheel. Hug your belly in, lift your chest, puff your chest towards your palm. Lower belly hug in. Inhale, think of lifting your hips up, chest up. Exhale, back down. Okay, and move back a little so you can see. Inhale, lift your hips up, chest up. You can look down to the mat, so just the feeling of the movements of your hip. Exhale, lower. So this is what you usually will feel when you go into wall thing. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. One more round. Inhale, hips up, chest up. Maybe think about opening your chest towards the ceiling. Feel the stretch in the right outer shoulders. Keep pushing into your right palm. Exhale, back down. Okay, now we are going to switch sides. Okay, back down, feet hip width distance, activate your inner thighs. So those who are strong, you feel stable in this pose, you can place a block in between your inner thighs so that you know for sure you're squeezing into it. So make sure left palm is not too far back, slightly under the shoulders. Squeeze into the block or squeeze into your inner thighs, right palm to your heart. Once you're ready, ground your feet firmly into the mat. Inhale, lift, squeeze into the block, lift your chest. Exhale, lower your hips forward. Okay, inhale, you can look down to the mat, lift your hips. Exhale, lower two. Inhale, lift your hips, squeeze into the block. Exhale, lower. One more round. Inhale, lift your hips, push into your left palm, maybe roll your chest open towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly gaze down to the mat, release your back down onto the ground. Once you're here, hug your knees in, wrap your arms around your knees, forehead onto your knees. Think of a rounding of your spine, draw your chest away from your thighs. Inhale, lift your hip. Now this next drill is for you to see whether your wrist feels comfortable when you go into wheel. Alright, so when you're here, place both palms behind your back, shoulder width apart. Okay? Make sure your fingertips is pointing towards you. Wrist points away from you. Make sure your palms are slightly or directly under your shoulders. Open your feet hip width distance apart. Those who are strong and familiar with this pose, your blocks can be against your inner thighs again. So squeeze into the block. Make sure your palms are under your shoulders, fingertips point towards you. You're coming into reverse tabletop. Inhale, lift your hips in line with your knees like a plate. So don't drop your hips down, think of squeezing out the glutes, lift your chest up. Exhale, lower forward. So you notice if your base of your wrist come press down to the mat, this is when you will use the block. Okay, make sure the block is under your palms. If your palms are wide enough, you can grip into the edges of your blocks. Fingertips point towards you. Inhale, lift your hips. You notice with the blocks under your palms, it's easier for you to lift your hips up higher. It's a lot easier for you to press your palms down. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, hips up. Think of squeezing your outer glutes in. Squeeze into inner thighs, lift your chest. Exhale, lower. One more round. Inhale, lift your hips up, push into the block. Maybe look up towards the ceiling or maybe drop your head all the way back. When you drop, don't collapse into your shoulders. Keep lifting your heart, squeeze your glutes. 5, 4, 3, keep pressing against your inner thighs. 2, and 1. Slowly release, chin to chest, hips to the mat. Wrap your arms around your thighs, forehead on your knees. Relax your neck, draw your shoulders away from your Yes. Okay, inhale, lift your head up. Now you're going into your final wheel pose. So, if you noticed earlier on, your base of your wrist come pressed down towards the mat. If you have walls close to you, you can place the block tilted. Okay, so the block is tilted and you're going to lean against the wall. Okay, so from the side view, it's leaning sideways like that. Okay, so it's not straight up, it's leaning towards the wall like that. Okay, so when you place it down, make sure there's space enough for your hip to be in between the blocks. Alright? So make sure it's in a slanted, about 45 degrees angle. Okay? So when you're here, if you're using the block, you're using the wall with the block against the wall, you have to shift yourself until your hip goes against the wall. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate without the wall, but it's the same feeling. So if you don't have the wall, you're going to place the blocks side by side. Make sure there's enough space for your head to go in between the block. Okay, once you're here, walk back. Make sure your hip is in between the wall. Your palms is going to turn, fingertips point towards your shoulders. Base of your wrist. Try to make sure the base of your wrist is directly in the middle of your block. Alright, if it's too far forward, you're going to tip the block. If it's too far back, it's very hard for you to press the base of the wrist down. So make sure the base of your wrist is directly in the middle, so it's easier for you to lift your elbows up. Alright, so I'm shifting back. Once you set up, palms onto your blocks, elbow points up. Think of squeezing elbows towards your face. Walk your feet in. Make sure your fingertips is able to brace onto your ankle. Squeeze your inner thighs. Squeeze your outer glutes. Once you're ready, press into the block. Lift your hips first. Think of drawing weight away from your arms. So use your thigh strength, lift your hips up. Then once you're comfortable, press the base of your wrist into the block. Come to the crown of your head first. Then once you're on the crown of the head, you still have time to adjust your palms. Then once you're comfortable, make sure the base of your wrist is firmly grounding into the block. Then slowly lift your chest up. Squeeze your outer glutes. Think of lifting your hips. The more you lift your hips, the lighter it is on your arms. Then it's easier for your arms to straighten up. Lift your chest. Biceps goes close towards your ears. Think of lifting your heart. Outer glutes, squeeze in, squeeze your inner thighs. Make sure no back pain. Keep pushing your pelvic up. 3, keep on breathing. 2. And to calm down, take it slow. Chin slightly to chest, bend your elbows, crown of the head towards the neck. Then once you're here, roll onto the back of your head, then slowly release. Roll your spine down, vertebrae at a time. Okay.
Okay, did we miss anything? Because I was blocked out earlier on. Right. So I'm going to demonstrate one more time on how to enter into your wheel pose, alright, with the blocks. Okay, so if you're against the wall, just
note again, you're going to tilt the block. And the base of your wrist will be on the middle of this block. Okay, middle of this block. Otherwise, I'm going to show you side view. Maybe another side. Okay, it depends on how much space you have. So you can place the block onto the lower side. Make sure you have enough space for your head to go in between the blocks. Alright? So make sure you bring your fingertips, make sure you can brace onto your ankles, walk your feet in. Knees hip width distance, so don't flare it out. Knees together, palms onto the middle of your block. Alright, so the fingertips is gripping onto the edge of your block. Elbows will lift up, hug your elbows in towards your face. Step by step. Inhale, walk your heels in, lift your hips out first. Squeeze into your outer glutes, keep pushing your hips. Once you get light onto your palms, come onto the crown of your head first. Then your palms can still adjust. Alright, once your palms are firm, push into the block, squeeze your inner thighs, lift your chest. Your elbows can stay micro bend. If you feel comfortable, start to straighten your arms. When you straighten your arms, think of lifting your hips up as well. Think of lifting your heart, biceps close to your ears. Then maybe if you want to, draw your chest forward. Okay, so there's constantly engagement in your thighs and your arms, so it's easier for you to have the reflex whenever you need. When you want to come down, chin to chest, bend your elbows, crown of the head down first. Then once you're here, Draw the back of your head down, chin to chest, slowly roll your spine down, vertebrae at a time. Alright, so once you're here, relax your lower back, drop your knees out, allow your feet to touch. Come to recline Baddha Konasana, palms can be on your inner thighs, gently press your thighs down to release your hips. Set your blocks aside. Take some time to slowly melt your spine into the neck. Chin to chest, relax shoulders down. Right? Okay, so give it a try, the drills. Okay, so a student commented during the lifting with the blocks in the supported bridge pose, yes, bend knee is a lot easier. You can focus a lot more on the activation of the lower leg, on your lower abdominal muscles. So if you find that straight legs and you do the leg lift is too much for you, bend your knees into 90-degree angle and then you do the leg lift. So focus on activating your abdominal muscles and your lower back. That's the key thing. Alright? Right, so if you have any questions, you can leave the comment here. If you're lying in your Baddha Konasana, you can start to straighten your legs. Hug both knees in towards your chest, okay? Now using this, just to release your lower back, rock from side to side. Alright, next week's class, the backdrop will be this. Alright, so because today we just need to use the wall a little, just to help you to demonstrate how you can use the wall when you're alone, especially to go into wheel pose. Alright, so if this is too daunting for you to come onto your palms or use the blocks in the middle of the room, with the wall you feel a lot safer, and with the angle and you tilting your blocks against the wall, it's easier for the base of your wrist to press down onto the mat. Alright? Come into full happy baby, grab hold onto the outer edges of your feet, elbows are inside your inner thighs. Okay, think of opening your knees apart. If you can, stack your ankles on top of your knees. Rock from side to side, try to make sure your lower back stays onto the mat. Lengthen the back of your neck, chin slightly to chest, just to release your upper back. Back to center. If you can, bend your elbows, think of bringing the knees closer towards the ground. Feel the release in your hamstrings, in the back of your thighs. Start to soften up your hips. Bring the soles of your feet together, back to Baddha Konasana. Open your knees outward. Press your lower back down. Inhale, round your spine, draw your forehead towards your toes. Think of this as a counter pose, so keep on rounding. Instead of activating your inner thighs, think of opening up your hips. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release, come into your final resting pose. If you have some time in the comfort of your house, just give yourself next few minutes to rest. Think of dropping your toes out, allow your thumbs to roll up, relaxing your shoulders down, melting your heart into the neck. Alright, if you have any questions, you can also post it on the comments. Otherwise, later on, we'll actually post this video onto IGTV, so it will still stay onto our page. So if you have any questions, you can also leave the comments under the video.